Hi guys, I'm Simon Legley and welcome to the Sports Department podcast. I've got three gentlemen here that study with us, and we're just going to be talking about Premier Leagues or elite football during lockdown. So this is a question that we came up together with the gentlemen, and we're just going to be discussing that. So I've got a few guys who are just going to introduce themselves. So we've got Mace.
Yeah, my name's Mason Cleaver. I do level 3 sport on the Football Academy and I'm an Aston Villa fan.
Hi, my name's Jack Morley. I study in the Level 2 Football Academy at Halesowen College and I support West Bromwich Albion.
Hello, my name's Always Khan and I study Level 3 Sport in the Football Academy and I support Chelsea Football Club.
Right, Jack, so how do you feel about football during lockdown in terms of it being like overplayed? Do you think it's been over televised? Are you a bit bored of it? Do you think like players have kind of like been good role models throughout in terms of sticking to the rules for lockdown and COVID measures? What's your thoughts on things like that?
I think it's great personally. I love how it's all being televised and you can watch any game at any time and there's football all through the week. I mean, being in lockdown with nothing to do, it's just something special when you have such a love for football. Being able to watch football constantly and not matter who's playing is amazing for me. But I think when it comes to the aspects of breaking COVID rules like players partying, I don't agree with that because at the end of the day, they're not superior to anyone else.
Fair comment.
They're just good at their job. But so if we can't go out and party, why should they just because they play football? That's the part I don't agree with. But in terms of football being on consistently, I love it. And I think the players love it as well. But without the fans, I think mentally, some of the players aren't right. And some of the players aren't feeling the same as what they do with fans in because the fans have a massive impact at the end of the day. We look at some of the scores, like, for example, Villa winning 7-2. I mean, with fans there, it could be a complete different game. Like, teams are just not scared now to attack because there's no fans, there's no pressure on them. I think we've seen so many goals, and I think that's the one way it's affecting football.
Okay, cool. Mace, what's your thoughts on that?
I think if we're going to talk about Villa like that, I think we've got to give us a bit of respect. I think that the way we've got to look at it, I think if you look at the league last year, the relegation battle, there was Watford, there was Bournemouth, and it went to the last day. And I think if there was fans in the ground this year, I don't think Sheffield United have been as bad as they are. I think they've definitely missed fans. I think Newcastle are definitely missing their fans.
Yeah. I
think Albion would have went down anyway, but I think they're slowly missing the fans. So I think it's not the same watching it on the telly. It's, you hear the same commentators all the time. I think we've fallen into a trap now with big games up so much. Like, was it Man United, Chelsea? It was bigged up so much. I think because the fans aren't there, it was just a dull 0-0. And It was just like, I think we've just got used to it a little bit too much now. And I think one thing that it has shown since all this has happened, it's football is very much about money. It's very much a business. We're in a danger now that when fans are allowed back, how much are they going to charge us to go back because everything's on TV?
Good points. Awais, what's your thoughts?
I think you can never get enough of watching football, honestly. I think the more football you watch, I think the better it is because we're more stuck at home now, so a lot of fans, they can't go to the game, so watching football at home is like, it's basically like the next best thing after watching it in real life, so I think that's great for people.
What do you think about football in terms of motivation for the players with no fans?
I think it depends if you're a player who gets a lot of stick, to be fair. If you're someone who the fans don't really like, but you're still an important player to the squad, you'll feel like, okay, the fans are here to like have a go at me. Maybe I can like put better performances now because my confidence will be higher. Whereas some players, they thrive off the motivation of fans. Look at Liverpool, for example. Like, without fans, they're kind of really struggling this season. I'm not sure if they really had fans at Anfield, how many defeats they would have at Anfield this season.
I feel that's a fair comment, yeah. Good point.
Like, that game against Chelsea yesterday, I don't think Liverpool play that way if fans are in the stadium. Or that game, the 1-0 defeat against Brighton, or the 1-0 defeat against Burnley, or especially the 4-1 defeat at home to Manchester City. I don't think that happens if fans are there in the stadium to motivate you, especially with Liverpool Football Club. They've got like one of the most intense and like scary atmospheres in their stadium. Mm-hmm. It's quite intimidating to see.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, to be fair. So, what about footballers' mentality? Do you think that will be affected throughout lockdown? Do you think anything would have changed for them? This is just your opinion, guys. What do you think?
Yeah, I think footballers are always looked at as, I don't want to say celebrities, but these are alter egos sort of kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think now, because everybody watches it all the time, I think more than ever now, I think they think that they're like different. They think they're something else. And I think, like, I'm a Villa fan, but Grealish, he definitely falls into that category. I think broke lockdown rules and all that kind of stuff. Villa fans love Grealish, but he got slaughtered for it. And I just think, even though you're a footballer, people were dying. People still are. It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. Everyone's in the same boat. It's sort of like you got to dig in. You just got to face what's happening.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. You know what really confuses me is when you see games where you got players with fresh haircuts and stuff like that, and I'm thinking, how on earth have you got a haircut? So if I was to go to work on Monday and I had a fresh haircut and I saw all of our students, it'd be like, Simon, how have you got a fresh haircut when we're in lockdown? Like, what's happened? I don't personally think it sets the right example. What do you think, Moores?
Well, there was one example of when Joe Linton, I don't know if you heard about it, he had a fresh haircut and he posted it on social media and Newcastle fined him £200. And that's something I agree with. But in the sense, all of the footballers are doing it. It shouldn't be right. I mean, they're no different to us. We're all human, and the rules should stand the same, other than they get to go out and do their job because it's what the government have allowed.
Fair comment. Wes, you got anything that you want to add?
We're all human at the end of the day, so I think all this lockdown stuff, I think it affects all of us the same as it would like non-professional footballers. Because I think we're all human at the end of the day. And this haircut thing, I think nearly every single footballer in the Premier League has a haircut. I'm not sure if I entirely agree with it, because like you are putting people in danger. Because like a lot of people will have older people living with them at home. So having a haircut, going out and getting people to your house, it's gonna increase the COVID-19 cases.
Yeah, I think it'd be good to know whether like professional clubs have in-house barbers or hairdressers. I think that's the only way it'll be acceptable, if you know what I mean. However, there's two ways to look at it. All right, guys, has anyone got any final thoughts before we go?
I think because we're all in a lockdown, and I think there's a lot. I think one thing that is lockdown, one thing we haven't talked about is Marcus Rashford. I think a lot of players have been doing things they shouldn't have. You talk about Joe Linton, you talk about Grealish.
Yeah.
But I don't think we talked about Rashford and the fact that he's not single-handedly, but he's been a drive behind feeding thousands and thousands of children who just wouldn't get it. And I think like one thing that he's highlighted in this lockdown is that all these players think they're celebrities. There's two ways to go about it. I think you can do it positively or you can do it negatively.
Yeah, he's most definitely used his platform to do good. We do need to accept, though, there are a lot of players that donate money or work with a charity but do it quietly. However, as you said, Rashford had to be so vocal with it in terms of challenging the government to make sure that students and kids and those vulnerable individuals were fed in their holidays. Because if they were at school, for example, sorry, it's not just holidays, but if they were at school, they would be supported with a meal. But being in lockdown means they couldn't go. So therefore, there were concerns over where they'd be fed. So yeah, he did the right thing. Fantastic, nice. All right, guys, thank you very much for your contributions. It's been good listening to you, talking to you. I'll see you all soon. Thank you.